Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's review will be this. Now before you click off, before you go out, give me a break. This isn't nothing to do with freestyle or racing. I'm out of here. Guys, hear me out. I'm not being a sock puppet. I'm not being a shell. Trust me. Trust me. If you got somebody that you might be interested or who might be interested in getting to quadcopters, or you might be interested in getting them into it, hence the wife, then guys, this might be something you'd be willing to look at here. I mean, I'm being serious. I didn't think this thing was going to fly. I thought it was going to be junk. I thought it was going to be toy grade. It shocked the living hell out of me. I mean, literally it did. And I'll tell you all the reasons why. This is going to be a very comprehensive review because there's a lot to cover here. It does a lot of stuff. So anyway, let me just get started. I'm going to try to make it as short as possible. I'm going to try to edit as much as I possibly can on this. So this is the Eachine, okay, E32HW. It weighs less than 250 grams. You don't have to register with the FAA. You don't have to register it with the Canadian officials and all that stuff. It's only a one cell, so it's a 3.7 650 milliamp battery. When I seen that, I was like, okay, great. 2-minute flight times, 3-minute flight times. No, this thing actually flies for about 6 to 7 minutes, and without the prop guards, I'm sure it would go for a little bit longer. It does come with extra props, by the way. It's got a little searchlight, which is, you know, whatever. It's got 3D flips and rolls that actually works, and I'll show you that when I show you the controller. It has a one-key return, huh? Yeah, it's got one-key return, and it's got a headless mode. So what headless mode is that when people are starting out, they don't, you know, when they're starting out line of sight and stuff, and they turn the copter around towards them, their right is now left because the quadcopter wants to shoot to its right. Well, with headless mode, it doesn't do that. Your right is always your right. So you go in this way, you go right, the quadcopter goes right. You turn the quadcopter around, you hit right, well, it's going to fly to your right. And then you have the one button return, you just click on that and it comes right back to you. It tries to land, you know, somewhere around the transmitter. So that's really nice as well, just in case you get frustrated and you're like, oh gee, I don't know where I'm at. You can just hit a button. So that is the quadcopter. Oh, let me also talk about something. This is a 720p camera. 720p camera that actually sends Wi-Fi high def video to your cell phone. So you can use your cell phone as a screen to FPV. Yeah, and it works. I didn't even know that it had that. I figured that was just like some cheesy ball little thing to take a picture. No, it does really good. And I'll show you that in the flight videos. It really does good video. Also, you can take pictures with it right off your cell phone screen as well. You can record on your cell phone, which I'll show you that coming up. Guys, I mean, seriously, just watch this thing. So this is the quadcopter. This is the controller. It also comes with a battery charger. It comes with 3 batteries for $70 if you click the link below. And it comes, you know, it comes with an extra set of props and of course the prop guards. Okay. It does not come with this. What is this? Well, this is a little backpack that I had, and you can buy these on Banggood. There's a picture right there for about 17, 18 bucks. You can buy a battery right here, and you can turn this into a full-fledged FPV rig to use with goggles. Okay, so if you do get this with somebody, your son or nephew or whatever, and they want to get into a more immersive FPV with goggles and stuff, you can just get the goggles for $70. This for about, I think they're like 18 bucks. I'll just flash it up here, and then also a battery, and you can turn this. And trust me, guys, it's a lot of fun. I'll show you that in the flight video. It's very, very smooth and a lot of fun. So let's get on with the controller here. So you have the one button right here that just takes it off. It starts it up. And you can just go up, and it tries to maintain its altitude because it's got the built-in barometer. This right here is your headless mode. You set that up for your headless mode. So when you fire up the quadcopter, when you first fire it up, you want to set it away from you like this. Let it sit down. Hold this button. It sets up the headless mode. It also keeps track of the signal, the RSSI of the transmitter to be able to fly back to it. This here is your flips and rolls. So when you hold this button down, you go like this, or like this, or like this, or like this. It's going to flip or roll in that direction. This here is your high and low speed button. So what that means is that if you want to slow it down, you just hit that button. It goes into slow mode, and you can get better, smoother video. And you hit that button, and it goes faster. Okay. My other complaint on this thing is the twitchy yaw. It's not the controller. It actually is set up here. It's a little twitchy. And I just kind of, you know, it kind of makes video a little bit choppier when you're doing that. So let's take a look at the controller itself. So how durable is this thing? I mean, seriously, it is very, very durable. I landed it into a tree, fell out of a tree about 20 feet onto concrete down at the Milwaukee station, and that was the only mark that it made. So it literally came down right on its arm. These things did what they're supposed to. They're very spongy. They'll bounce off of stuff in the house. They'll bounce off stuff like the playground equipment you're about to see. They did really, really well. It's got the lights here for line of sight, so for orientation. And here's your battery. It goes right in here. This is my other complaint. This battery lead is really, really too tight. And I'm going to show you that here in a second why I don't like that. Because when you first fire this thing up, you turn the controller on, you see how it flashes. Okay, you plug your battery in here, they link up. Okay, that's how they work. They bind together. Well, when that battery lead's so short, it makes it kind of cumbersome. So, that's one of my big complaints there. Battery lead and the yaw. So, anyway, guys, that is the quadcopter. It is very, very durable. I also accidentally put my finger here in the prop when it was fully going. It just stopped the prop. It didn't burn up the ESC. It didn't do anything. It just stopped the prop. Large blades of grass will stop the prop as well. So it's kind of got a built-in thing where you can't burn it up. And it doesn't burn up the motor. It doesn't harm the gears inside here because it's got gears. So that's really nice to have. Also, too, I wanted to cover the fact that you can get all of the parts for this. So if it does get broke, I landed this in a waterfall and it got soaked and it quit working. And I was like, oh, great. I got to review this thing and now I don't have a quadcopter to review. And now I'm going to have to try to get them to send me another one. I came home and blew it out with the air compressor and it started right back up and flew again. So here is the manual. So here's the manual that you get. You notice it's a book, not a piece of paper. And here's all your spare parts. So even if I did burn it up, I could got the part for it. So all of the parts are right here from Banggood. It's a very comprehensive manual. It tells you everything you need to know about flying this quadcopter. Everything's included, the charger, everything, guys. So I'm going to be right back. I'm going to show you the software that fits right here in this clamp. And this does fit my Galaxy 8 Plus, so you'll see. I'm going to show you the software and more of the features of this thing. And I'm going to also show you a flight video and then close it up. Sorry about the length of the video, guys. I'm going to edit as much as I possibly can, but there's a lot to cover here, and I was shocked by it. $70, 3 batteries. Okay, so we're back here with the software that you can get from Eachine online there. Once you scan the manual, you can get it takes you right to the App Store. So right here, right there. So you just scan one of those and it'll take you there. You download the software. Now once you're in your connections on your cell phone, you want to make sure it picks it up. It'll say Eachine MH whatever. Okay, just make sure that it's on. Okay, and it currently is. I also made sure to turn off my home network as well so that it wouldn't automatically connect. So we're going to go here, let's close out of this, and then we're going to open up the software here. So you have two things you can do in the software. On the control part, you can actually control the quadcopter using your cell phone, so you don't need the actual transmitter. And that's kind of nice. There is going to be a little bit of latency, plus you have to make sure you're on slow mode when you do this. I've tried it, and you just got to make sure you're on slow mode. You can turn on the searchlight here. You can turn on your video. You just hit that right there and it turns it on. Not only does it record on your phone, it also records on the SD chip that's located on the bottom of the quadcopter. You can turn it off when you're done, and you have to make sure to turn it off, guys. You can't just unplug the quadcopter, otherwise you will lose the video. So you have to make sure to turn that off if you want to keep your recordings. You can also take a picture with it. It says OK. So there you go on that. And then if you just want an FPV, then you can just go into monitor. Okay, and monitor is the same thing. It just doesn't have all the other controls and stuff on it, and that way you can FPV. Now when you're FPVing with the phone, there's a little bit of latency here. Okay, there's a little bit of latency here. It's probably around 100 millisecond is what I'm guessing here. So just keep in mind, keep that in mind. This is 720p, so it's actually delivering the high definition video to your phone. So there is going to be a little bit of latency there because it is digital. Also, if you're in an area with a lot of Wi-Fi or a lot of interruptions, you're going to get a little bit of a choppy video on the screen. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're using this. But the way the copter flies, it's nice and slow. And for $70 with 3 batteries, I mean, I can't even believe it even has these features, to be honest with you. Okay, guys, so we're starting to get into the flight video. right now I'm just using the FPV feed that's the backpack camera on the top, just to show how smooth this thing is. It's extremely smooth. You don't have to worry about the altitude, the throttle control so much because of the built-in barometer. And you really want to fly this on a windless day. You don't really want a lot of wind. Later on in the flight video here, I'll show what it's like to try to fly in 12-mile-an-hour winds. It's just a very light quadcopter. The propellers are made for lift and for efficiency so that you can get those longer flight times. So it's not going to handle a lot of wind. Maybe 4 or 5 mile an hour wind would be fine. But you can see right here, I mean, it just holds its altitude. I'm hardly having to put any throttle input in, and it just holds it very nice. So right about here, I'm going to flash over to how it records onto the cell phone, okay? And then right here is how it records on the SD card, okay? So there's quite a bit of a difference. Had a little bit of wind there when I shot through there. And then once again, we're back to the cell phone. The FPV feed on the backpack is up in the upper right-hand corner. This is the SD card once again. You can see it's very, very clear. But even the cell phone recording is good enough for sharing with Facebook or Instagram. It really looks sharp on... You have to understand, YouTube kind of plays around with video a little bit, makes it look a lot worse than it actually is. So the cell phone video looks very sharp on the cell phone. But, you know, if you have an SD card in, you might as well use that too to share. So either way, it's just on the cell phone, it's really quick. You can just go to your Facebook page and just share a video. So right here I'm showing close proximity. And I bounce off a little bit right there with the prop guards, and it's just fine. Nice and spongy. I don't show a lot of SD card video right here, and the reason why is I was having a problem with the SD card that I had, and it actually failed on me. I had to go down and buy a new one. So that's kind of why you're seeing a lack of the SD card. I do show some coming up here at my house on a different day. But, you know, the FPV camera, like I said, up in the right-hand corner, the lens, it's kind of drawn back a little bit as opposed to the lens on the 720p camera. And you can see the difference here. And then right there we had a little bit of a spike on the video on the way it recorded to the cell phone. And you're going to get that because it's sending to your phone via Wi-Fi, and it's high definition video. So if you're around a lot of metal, and if your phone has got a lot of stuff running in the background, it's going to kind of, because it takes a lot of processing power to do this. But if you look at the FPV feed, it's extremely smooth. Very, very smooth. The little bars that you see flashing up on the top, that's because it's my it's the new Rapid Fire by Immersion RC. So that's what those are. This is just the bars for that. But you can see the FPV feed, it's just very smooth. So I'm glad I put the backpack on to kind of show that. Okay, now here's my backyard. This is on a different day. I was waiting for the wind to die down. It's springtime up here, so we have a lot of wind. This just kind of shows the crispness and the clarity of the camera, how sharp the camera is. And so I'm just, you know, the wind finally died down to about 3 to 4 mile an hour, so it was easy to fly back here. And doing some close proximity on the Jeep. But once again, the 720 camera does shoot out a little bit farther, so I'm not quite this close to the Jeep. And you can see the wood grain in the fence and stuff. You can see the details. And then here's my attempt to try to fly this thing on about 12 mile an hour wind here. I was trying to get trying to get a nice picture of this this flag. You can see the flags just whipping around. This I did line of sight, so this was a challenge. All right, guys. So that's the review and the flight video for the E32HW by Eachine on Banggood there. So hopefully you've seen everything you wanted to see. If you're looking for a birthday gift or, a graduation gift, I guess it might be a little too late for that, but maybe a summer gift for your kids. Definitely check it out. If you this way you're not spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get your kids or somebody that you might think might be interested. Maybe it's your father, is retiring or close to retirement, always wanted to get into RC hobbies, or maybe it's a wife or something like that. You don't have to spend a lot of money to buy the equipment and not be sure if this is something they would like. This is definitely something you can get very inexpensively. It's a rugged little thing and it flies great. So there you go. I mean, I want to thank Banggood for sending it to me. I actually had fun flying it, believe it or not. I know that may be hard to believe because I fly racers, but I actually did have a lot of fun flying this thing. So I had a smile on my face. And that's what the hobby's all about. So thanks, guys, for tuning in, and have yourself a great day.